This week we have a movie that we thought was quite unique.
Yeah, it's very interesting and very different.
Yeah, the main through line was um, captivating.
Yeah.
It caught our interests.
And I was pleased. There were a lot of lessons in this film,
Yeah, way more than we thought. I
and
thought it was
very
just
much
going to be kind of
enjoyed it.
because the trailer looked good and everything, and I thought, oh, this will be all right. But yeah, bam, the bucket was deep.
Yes.
Yeah. Um, Before we get into this bad boy, you need to let everybody know that starting with this episode, we are going to be going to a bi-weekly schedule.
For at least the next 2 months.
Yeah, well, till like mid-March.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Got some things going on that take up time, enormous amount of time. Time that I don't have to do this.
Yeah.
It's basically it's a lot of studying, and there just isn't room to do this every week, so I can break up enough time to do it every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
But
So it is temporary, our
it's
bi-weekly.
temporary, and it bugs me because we've over 2 years.
Oh, I know.
Every week.
Yeah.
We've done it. Even like when we went on vacation, we did that whole powerhouse recording of 5 episodes.
Even when one of us was sick.
Yeah. A couple times.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, it's just one of those things, folks, where life is what it is.
Mm-hmm. And
simply don't have the time. And quite frankly, the time that I need to put into these studies, it's way more important.
Yes.
As much as we love doing this, sometimes it just doesn't hold up the priority list.
That's true.
Yeah. So until then, like I said, these will be coming out every couple weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully. If it gets too bad, then it might be, tri-weekly. We'll see how it goes. There's a lot that needs to be done. So
yeah, it's all good stuff. It's not, it's not bad stuff.
Well, no, yeah, it's studying for certifications that are vitally important, and there's a lot of stuff.
Yeah,
it's like 450 pages over 3 days, projects, stuff, and going to be doing that. The pages 3 more times. So yeah, about 1,500 more pages to go through when
Woohoo!
Those next classes start and projects and stuff. So yeah, not a lot of studying. Anyway, we'll be back, when that's all done, and we'll let everybody know. Do have some interesting stuff coming up, though.
We do.
We got another screener
invitation.
Yeah, so we are going to check that out.
Mm-hmm.
And that will probably be the next episode. It is not a female-directed movie.
No,
but we'll get more into it when we get into it.
But we also
hear about it.
Yes, but we also do have on our list of things that we're going to cover one of my all-time favorite movies.
Yeah,
I'm very excited to talk about it.
We're not going to say.
No,
be a surprise.
Yeah.
All right, then. Well, I think we should get rolling into this bad boy and get to these lessons.
Let's do it.
All right.
Hey there, B-Siders. Welcome to another episode of Bravo for the B-Side, and this is Danny.
And this is Jim.
How are you, Jim?
I am living in a place where it's 1 degree outside.
Fahrenheit.
And yes, and in a house that is as dry as a parched bone in Kalahari.
It sure is. That's some vivid imagery you're painting for us.
Well, it's terrible. So there's going to be some voice issues because, god damn, this house is dry.
It is to the point where I have had this like kind of like wettish cough, right? Because it's so weirdly dry
Right.
that I'm overproducing, right?
Yes.
And I took an at-home COVID test because I was like, am I sick? No.
No, it's just this. I mean, plus we've been on the phone all
Yeah.
day for our respective jobs. So there's a lot of talking. And I've been in this office all day. So, yeah. I feel like if I were to stand in the shower, inhaling half of the water that hits me to do this podcast, it still wouldn't be enough.
Yeah.
Ugh. Anyway.
So
Yeah.
we've got a real interesting film this week. I've never really seen anything quite like this film.
No. We put it on the list for that very reason.
Yes.
Because we read it, the notes, and we're like, huh, what's this really about?
Yeah.
So then we watched the trailer and we were like, ooh, this looks unique.
Yeah, and it has actually been on the list for a while.
Right.
And we are focusing this year on women in film.
Mm-hmm.
And as I was kind of looking for films to cover, I was like, oh, what about this one? And realized that it is directed by a woman. So we were like, awesome. It also has two main characters. I mean, the two,
primary
characters
yeah.
are women.
Yes.
So I'm excited to talk about it.
I am too.
But first.
Yes. But first.
We lost this past week. So, I mean, when this comes out,
Yeah.
It's always old news when it comes out. But
yes.
We lost this week Sidney Poitier.
We did. And just, these legends. I hate to say this. I have not come to appreciate all that many, quote, new talent that comes close to these legends that are leaving us,
Well, so we're living in a really interesting time period in that the birth of film as we know it happened, just a little over 100 years ago.
Right.
The birth of like television and Hollywood and, the movies
right.
as they are, was, I mean, just under 100 years ago, really. And so we're living in this kind of really interesting time where all these legends like Sidney Poitier, like Betty White,
mm-hmm.
like all these people are passing. And I don't know, I was actually thinking about it a little bit before we came in here. And I was like, I feel really lucky to actually be living in the same time period that these people lived in.
Mm-hmm. Oh, most definitely. I mean, because I grew up with these people,
Yeah.
with people who grew up with these people. So it's really, I don't know. I mean, I don't like to cast aspersions, but there's a middle level after like this group, Sydney's group, right? We have Leonardo DiCaprio, who
sure,
is, Matt Damon, Ben Affleck. Say what you want. Some people just give him loads of shit.
But Kid wonders of the 90s.
Right. But they pull some stuff out. They got past that because back then it was like,
oh, yeah,
this isn't really all that, fucking great. I mean, yeah, he's got some talent. But until you get your feet into stuff that really demands something in a story where the audience is demanding, like, make me cry, goddammit. Because if you don't, never going to have a good opinion of you, sort of thing, right? And I see some of these guys getting sidetracked And then there's the level below them. I'm not even going to, or like the next coming group, I'm not even going to pick names because I don't know if I know of any that I care to mention. But these, this was a man who was an artist, like so
Yes.
many of these folks. And like,
Refused to bow to convention.
absolutely, and everyone remembers him, they call me Mr. Tibbs. He had some phenomenal roles, breakthrough roles, race breakthrough roles,
Yeah.
studios that wanted to push that edge. And like, wow, so this is the public opinion, but here's what we're going to do. Ooh, we're going to like just challenge it in one of those rare instances.
Yeah.
Um, my favorite movie with him in it, and it's not his greatest performance by far, but it's Sneakers.
Oh, sure.
To see Sidney Poitier on screen with Robert Redford and Dan Aykroyd,
Kind of wild.
right? And then River Phoenix. What a weird ass ensemble. But it was beautiful because River Phoenix was one of those who was he was like a volcano of talent. And unfortunately, that volcano went silent far too soon.
Oh, yeah.
We have Dan Aykroyd, whose comedic performances are just legendary. He knows how to do it, right? SNL alumni.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have Robert Redford. To see the three of these folks work together and feed off of one another, I thought this is like the ultimate mixing bowl of stuff. It was so much, not just fun, but I love watching them work together.
Yeah.
And especially my favorite scene is where Dan Aykroyd's going off on his conspiracy shit, and Sidney Poitier is just like, I can't talk to you anymore. That interaction was so good.
Oh, absolutely.
And everyone brought their own thing, but Sidney Poitier, even this light comedy, tech thriller, he just has a grace and a presence whenever he's on the screen.
Absolutely.
And it doesn't matter what he's saying. It doesn't matter what he's doing. He's one of those people that just his charisma demands attention.
Yeah.
Right. And then you're just like, wow. He's the guy who walks in the room and you stop what you're doing. And not because, oh, look, it's someone famous. Oh, look, it's someone's cool. You can feel him coming in and you just want to go, that is what they call it.
Mm-hmm.
Boom. And just leave it at that.
Yeah.
It's another big loss.
It is a huge loss. I just popped onto IMDb because I was curious. I'm always curious, like how many credits and etc. So he has 55 actor credits on IMDb.
Mm-hmm.
9 director credits.
Mm-hmm. He was very good.
Yeah. Producer, soundtrack, writer. It has 129 credits under self. So he has appeared as himself in 129 productions of some sort or another.
Right.
Documentary, TV specials,
mm-hmm.
that kind of thing, which is kind of cool. Yeah, just
I know. He was one of my, the big table. I never liked that. Who would you have dinner with? Well, pick 3 people. No, if I'm going to do that bullshit, it's going to be my rules. It's going to be a giant ass round table, King Arthur style. Because there's just too many people to try and pick 3,
Sure.
But he is one. I would have loved to have just sat across him for just a chit chat, because seeing him in like behind the scenes stuff where he's not interviewing and stuff, he's just doing his thing and someone caught it. He just was so magnetic. And, his whole presence is so ephemeral, and you just can't help but think, sitting and talking to him, even if he was pissing and moaning about something, somehow I feel like I would still walk away feeling like $1,000,000 because the guy had a crackerjack smile, and just a personal presence that was, joyful.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. Well, with that, it seems like every episode now we're going to have some sad news, man. This is happening quick. All right.
Thank you, Sidney Poitier, for everything.
Also, after Sidney, we lost Bob Saget.
God dang it. That's right.
Right. And I was not one for his humor as a comedian.
Sure. I get that.
But I liked his nice guy, very dry, nice guy performances. And I had respect for him as well, because again, so many people in the business, right now everyone's talking, all nice. That's kind of the thing. When someone dies, everyone talks all nice about him, sort of our American convention. But while he was alive, people were talking nice about him, just one of the kindest guys in Hollywood, to fans, to fellows and stuff. He was just a nice dude.
Yeah.
And he understood his focus and talent, and he did his thing, So another one. That means there's going to be 3 next week.
Stop.
Let's, all these folks are in their late 70s, 80s, 90s.
Ugh.
I know.
Anyway,
let's talk
about this movie.
Let's talk about this movie, and this is our tribute to them, because this is what we do, is we talk about the stuff that they helped make an art.
Yeah.
This one would fall in that category.
I think so.
I'll start out by saying I rather enjoyed this.
Agreed.
We were iffy because it was an unknown. Yeah. And when you see something and you're like, this is not like anything I've seen before, you just don't know what you're going to get when you fire it up.
Right.
Because the never been done before thing, it's pass or fail.
Well, it is interesting because watching the trailer, I knew it. I was like, this has the potential to be really excellent.
Mm-hmm.
Or
yep.
What?
Yep.
So.
All right. Well, without further ado, this week's movie is Coyote Lake, put out in the universe in 2019, directed by Sara Seligman, written by Thomas James Bond and Sara Seligman, starring Camila Mendes, Adriana Barraza, and Andre Velez. Its rating was TVMA, so not really a movie rating.
Right.
This was on Tubi, right?
It was on Tubi.
So that's probably why. Tubi does a pretty good job of TV rating stuff.
Well, and movies like this, if it gets onto IFC or something like that, IFC will give it a TV rating.
Right.
Like
you got to have
TV movie.
Yeah, you got to have something to give the audience.
Yes.
Fair warning.
Yeah.
So anyway, here's the plot. Esther and her overbearing mother run a small bed and breakfast near the U.S.-Mexico border. 2 unwanted guests arrive, threatening everyone's safety. But the 2 women hide a secret that may prove the most dangerous of all.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, I want to say, before we get into this, we always talk about the log line, right, or the plot line. It's fairly accurate, but as you will find out in just a moment, folks, what their secret is not a secret from the audience.
Right.
Right. It's from the 2 unwanted guests. So it's a little kind of misleading. But yeah, it's one thing I liked about this going in. I love being a part of it.
Yeah.
We talked about, these different formulas for things. I love knowing who the bad guy, traitor, mole is. And I love knowing we all, you motherfucker. And seeing him befriend and everyone put their trust in him, and you're just like, it's that knowledge you can do nothing about.
Yes.
To do anything for these people, you just got to sit back and take it as it happens. I love that. And this, I think what amped me right away was like, don't have to wait. Don't have to wait till the end. No Hitchcockian surprise.
Right.
You know.
I do want to say, and I don't want to give too much away right now, but I was reading there's like trivia and notes and stuff on IMDb for these films and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like based on a true story, but it is inspired by and sort of based on like events that have happened at lakes.
Oh, I believe it.
In that area.
I believe it.
Along the border.
I not to segue, but I've talked about, I have been down on the border setting out water tanks. I've gone and retrieved my water tanks full of bullet holes from high-powered rifles, because people knew what they were out there for,
mm-hmm.
To give water to these people who've been dumped in the middle of the desert, left to die once they get crossed over. Yeah, I just knowing what goes on down there, you can say this isn't like a true story or based on known facts, but it's easy to make this shit up because it's
not outside the realm of possibility.
Right. Things are happening, and this could be one of them. Anyway, why don't you take us in?
Okay.
All right.
So we open with a little information about a lake near the border where there have been many murders and missing persons cases that regularly go unsolved. Just a little blurb.
Mm-hmm.
And then we see a body dropping into the water. It's been wrapped and weighed down.
Yep.
And then we kind of cut to, in a house, there is a young woman. She is straining something red into a cup. It looks like some sort of like hot tea.
Right.
Like a hot flower tea of some kind.
Yeah.
I don't know. She gave it a name, and it looks actually pretty delicious.
It does look delicious.
But she and her mother, and they're both Latinas,
mm-hmm.
They're entertaining this white man. And this guy is like going on about how his life is more exciting than he wants it to be. And he's kind of like humble bragging and, like doing that weird thing where you're complaining, but really it's like a flex.
Yeah. More money, right?
Right. And he claims to be a tour guide.
Right.
And the young girl is playing along with his story, but it's clear that he, is not a tour guide.
No.
I think we all know what he is.
It's pretty apparent, yeah, because he's sketchy as shit.
Oh, absolutely.
Side, this and that, just really not wanting to get into any details.
Mm-hmm.
More of that complain bragging.
Right. But we all know that he's a coyote.
Complagging.
Put that on a shirt.
Complagging.
So, the mom offers him some coffee while the daughter's cleaning up dinner. And as that is happening, the mom goes up to the daughter who's like doing dishes, and the daughter mentions, "Oh, it's taking forever." And they're kind of having this little like secret conversation between the two of them.
Right.
And the mom says to be patient. And they turn around and the guy is passed out on top of the table. So then we see the daughter searching his truck. She has clearly done this before.
Oh, yeah.
She's like cutting the cushion open, prying the thing off of the door. The
panels off the insides of the doors.
Yeah. She's doing a thorough, like, DA type search of this guy's truck. And she finds 2 Ziploc bags full of money. So, yeah, she goes in and shows it to her mom, and then it's night, and this guy, I thought his name was Doug, but I guess it's Dirk.
Oh, the helper?
Yeah.
It's Dirk, yeah.
Dirk. He comes by, they he seems kind of simple, and the daughter doesn't like him,
Right.
but his job is to like help them take care of stuff. So he like burns the man's belongings, but he takes a gold chain out of them as like a weird little souvenir, and he's hiding it.
Right.
And then they all they have the body in a wheelbarrow, and they wheel it down to a little dock. It's neatly wrapped. And then I realize it's not a body. This guy's still breathing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So they tie they tie him to a cinder block and take it out to the lake, tied to a boat, and cut the rope.
Yep.
And we see this guy drift down, and he wakes up as he's drifting down.
Starts convulsing as he starts to drown. Yeah.
It's disturbing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So then we see the mom praying, and she's got her little like kind of altar. She's got a bunch of candles there.
Mm-hmm.
And then she bends down and she scratches a mark into the wall. So she's counting.
Right.
Right. And there are several hash marks already.
Mm-hmm.
We see Dirk drive off in the guy's truck, and he doesn't really seem to enjoy this. So I'm wondering, like, do they have something over him that they're making him help them?
Right.
And the daughter also doesn't seem to enjoy it either. And then, so you kind of wonder, like, what is driving this very disturbing activity?
Yeah.
Right. Mom seems fine with it. We see Dirk parking the guy's truck somewhere, and there's like several other vehicles.
Yes. Like out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
You know, but in trees and stuff. Yeah, it's like a growing collection.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is, I mean, there's the hash marks, all the vehicles. This is clearly not the first time.
No. So then we see the young woman is Esther is laying in bed. And she looks even more troubled. It's like that whole far off, like, you know, it's done, whatever. The next morning, a group of Mexican men and women are looking for a place to stay. And there's a conversation between them and the mother. The mother sympathizes with their situation, but she tells them she doesn't have a room.
Right.
Right. And well, she has a couple.
Yeah.
But she ends up sending them away, saying, if you walk 12 miles, there's someone there who might have work for you, kind of thing.
She's very dispassionate about it.
Well, she is. And I kind of got it as after what just happened. And the last thing you want is a bunch of, people who have illegally crossed the border hanging out at your house, even, if they're like working off their stay. That's just not good for the murder business. Right?
No.
Anyway, the young woman, Esther, isn't happy about it. So she ends up gathering up a bunch of fruit into a bucket. And as she's doing so, Dirk stares at her, and then she just like, that's enough. And she runs off after the immigrants, and she catches up to them, gives them the food. When she gets back, Mom's waiting for her.
Mm-hmm. And
you think, oh, here we go. But Mom's not really upset.
Right.
Esther really wants to help the immigrants, and Mom is focused on the coyotes, the people who bring them over and dump them.
Right.
Right. And, she gets her little spiel, that, they'll be fine, this and that, but what we're doing, it's the people who brought them over, the guy who brought them over and left them to die, basically, those are the people that we got to focus on,
Yeah.
sort of thing. We're doing good, doing a good thing. So, and then Esther goes on about Dirk and how he's so useless. And, I think, well, I don't know what else he does or doesn't do around there, but, burning possessions and ditching cars, it's pretty handy.
Does seem useful, yeah.
Yeah. And he knows what he's doing.
Oh, yeah.
Seems like he's got a system. So a little while later, Esther rides her bike into town, and she goes into a pharmacy to get, quote, more of her mom's medicine and some more sleeping pills. The old woman pharmacist is shocked, but gives her the stuff, buying the whole story that Esther gives. And then on the TV, there's a news bit about someone who's wanted for a massacre somewhere in the area. And there's,
Right.
all the agencies are out looking and stuff. Now, I didn't note this, but one important thing about this scene is when Esther walks in, there's a guy at the counter, and he asks her a question politely in Spanish.
Right.
And she gives some sort of first week, 6th grade Spanish class answer. Even I was like, ugh. So we learn Esther doesn't speak Spanish.
Right.
Okay. So anyway, Esther gets home. Things are quiet. She creeps into the basement. And by that, I mean, it's one of those weird houses where it's kind of sort of like a pseudo platform house.
Right.
And there's like a basement, but it's not really a basement.
But it's above ground.
Yeah. It's like underneath the house, but not dug into the earth.
Right.
So, yeah. It's like if you put curtains up on the bottom of a tree house, I guess.
Well, I mean, it's an above ground basement.
Well, yeah. But anyway, she goes in there. The pharmacist made her take a bag of stuff. Clothes.
Mm-hmm.
And so
it was nice dresses for her to wear because Esther dresses like a boy.
Yes. So she hides her clothes in this basement area. She overhears her mom talking to Dirk. Mom telling Dirk he can come to her room later that night. And he does.
Yeah.
And I skipped over that whole thing.
Yeah, Esther can hear it from her room.
Yep. And she's just sitting there with that look like she knows exactly what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
So the next day, Esther pulls out the clothes, and there are a bunch of dresses. I wrote another day because this seemed to be like days going by.
Right.
So on another day, mom's teaching her to sew. And then one day a car pulls up. It's a BMW. A guy in a suit gets out, asks for a room. Later, Esther brings him a drink.
It's that red stuff.
It's red. Yeah.
She calls it Jamenka water, and I might be saying that wrong.
Okay. I didn't catch it, and I didn't pretend to try. So you could be correct. So she sits, we see her sitting outside of his room till we hear a thud. He's out. So that night, same routine as before, only when they get back from doing the body, a pickup comes. Oh, no. They didn't do the body.
Esther is searching his car.
Yep, she's out ripping the BMW apart, and then a pickup comes speeding up to the house. A young man runs up saying that they need help. His friend's been shot. And then he pulls a gun on Esther.
Yep.
And then mom comes out, points the gun at her. So they take the wounded friend inside. The guy who's wounded is older than the young guy. Man, he's just screaming like a punk.
Yes.
Like, come on, dude. I just, it's just, yeah. And then mom uses these big ass tweezers. I'm not sure what they really were, but they did look like giant ass tweezers.
Yeah.
To pull the bullet out of his leg. And then there's noise outside. It's Dirk. So the young guy with the gun, I call him idiot guy. through the rest of this.
I call him young guy
Oh.
until I learn his name.
Oh, when I learned his name, I kept calling him idiot because he's just an idiot.
Oh, it's not very nice.
It's plenty nice. So anyway, idiot makes Mom and Dirk go with him to check all the rooms in the place. They go into unconscious guy's room, the BMW driver. Later, wounded guy is put in a room. Mom hints everyone needs to die. To Esther, have to kill them all, basically. And then idiot puts them all in different rooms, and that he plans to stay up all night.
Yeah. Esther, during the night, hears a sound. And so she kind of like peeks her head out her door. She finds the young guy sleeping in the hall. So he didn't successfully stay up all night.
Nope.
Then goes into the guest room where it is their guest that they drugged. And he's throwing up. So the effects have worn off and he's sick now.
They didn't drown him in time.
Right. And we did learn earlier that what they're using to drug these people is just a bunch of sleeping pills and muscle relaxants.
Yeah, with a bunch of tasty berries.
Right. So they get into a bit of a tussle because he's realized that he's been drugged and he's not happy about it.
No.
Understandably. So he's trying to strangle her. And suddenly the young guy comes in and helps and like pistol whips this guy pretty hard.
Mm-hmm.
To the point where there's like blood. And I thought he might have killed the guy.
Right.
Yeah. So then together they're taking care of this guy's, body. I mean, he's alive, but they're pulling him out. They realize that he's alive still because he starts to stir as he tries to make Esther dig a hole with a snow shovel, which is weird.
So this is funny, and I couldn't tell. Is Esther actually this dumb that she's never dug a hole before, and does not know the first fuck? Because she's like pushing on the shovel. He's like, no, use your foot. Put your foot on it and push down. And it looks like a 2-year-old trying to handle a buzzsaw.
I mean, I think possibly.
But also, or is she smart enough to just act this stupid? Because what happens?
Well, he ends up taking the shovel.
Yeah, right?
But anyway, he tells her to go back to the house so that she doesn't have to see what he's about to do,
mm-hmm.
The young guy. She doesn't. She looks on. And she watches this. I mean, this young guy, he's barely more than a kid. I mean, he's maybe 20.
I'd say somewhere between 18 and 20. Yeah.
Yeah, early 20s at like the latest.
Mm-hmm.
This guy, he's been wielding a gun and shouting orders, but he is not a hardened criminal. He looks away as he points his gun towards the guy and shoots him.
Several times.
Yeah.
To make sure it's done. But yeah, he can't look at what he's doing.
Mm-hmm. So the next morning, she finds him crying in the hallway. And there's this moment where I'm like, he doesn't seem particularly threatening, this kid. Until he hears Dirk in the car outside. And Dirk is just doing what Dirk does. He's trying to get rid of that guy's BMW.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So there's a little bit of a, hubbub where she had been making breakfast and she hears him like out there screaming at Dirk. So she runs out and is like, but it's a smart, right? He was just thinking.
Yeah. Yeah. You can't say, well, this is what we do normally.
Right.
When we kill somebody.
Isn't it a good idea to get rid of the car, though?
Yeah. So she's like, we can't have someone, driving up and asking about it.
Yeah. And then later we have Mom and Esther together talking about how to get rid of them. So, like, clearly this young guy isn't keeping these people too much in check.
No, I mean, his only bit of authority comes at the end of a gun,
Yeah.
right? But even then, especially mom at this point, you're seeing she's just starting to be like,
Okay.
I don't want to get shot, but I also don't know if you could, you little punk.
So then we have the young guy telling the guy who got shot about what happened to the guest,
Oh, right.
right? And we learn they're on their way to a meet of some
Yeah.
kind.
The meat.
The meet. We learn that their names are so the young guy is Paco and the gunshot guy is Ignacio.
The whole way through, it's wounded guy and idiot for me.
Okay. Well, all right then. Ignacio, he is not in a hurry to leave this place because he's kind of like, this is kind of a sweet setup. It's just these two women and the idiot guy and the
Simpleton.
simpleton. Paco doesn't want to stay in this house.
No.
He wants to get out as soon as possible. So he takes Esther into town to get some medicine for Ignacio, some antibiotics and painkillers, that
Right.
kind of thing, because the guy's been shot in the leg. And on the way there and back, Paco and Esther have, a little bit of a get to know you conversation. And gosh, Esther is way too open with this guy who's got her whole family under the barrel of a gun. But we learn that her relationship with her mother is unhealthy and complicated, to
Yes.
put it in a nutshell. We also learn that mom's very conservative.
Mm-hmm.
She's the reason that Esther wears boy clothes and doesn't have a lot of experience with the world outside.
Right.
Right?
No
She's
social
kept her
skills.
very sheltered.
Yes.
So back at the house, mom is taking care of Ignacio. And we learn that Esther's dad was killed by the cartel. And mom has got a bit of a chip on her shoulder about it.
Yeah, well, he was killed because he didn't want to pay them
Right.
some protection fee.
Right. Like cartels charge.
Yeah.
So as this conversation ends, where she's telling Ignacio this, basically I don't think shit of you, She walks into the dining room to find Esther laughing with Paco.
Oh, yeah. Over dinner.
Yeah. And she immediately pulls Esther outside, and you can hear mom yelling at her, and you can hear it a slap.
Smack.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And we learn that mom slapped Esther for flirting with Paco.
Mm-hmm.
And he is like, you don't need to let her treat you that way. That's not okay.
Right.
Which is kind of weird coming from the guy who's holding your family hostage, but
yeah.
Also, he has a point.
Well, so here's the thing.
Okay. I'd love to hear your take on this.
I get where mom is coming from.
Yes.
It's to a point, right? This is sort of like that zealot kind of, puritanical, borderline criminal upbringing of kids.
Yeah.
But, here's the rule, or here's the deal. Rules are rules, right? You tell your kids something, they listen. I mean, that's the beginning and end of that whole thing. We've had this conversation with Lily 1,000 times. Don't care how long you live here, but as long as you live here, you will listen and you will do.
You will follow my rules.
Yeah. I mean, the house has rules and they'll be followed. Now, if she has lifestyle things that she does, we can't really get in on that because she's she's not now, but she'd be an adult.
Sure.
Right. But we're talking about what goes on in the house.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this is a little bit different. Okay. So We have a murder enterprise going.
Sure do.
We have bodies somewhere.
Yep.
Because we have hash marks. We have shit strewn willy-nilly and burnt. We have a field full of vehicles. And a lot of people who've gone missing, last known to have been going to their place, their B&B.
Right.
Right? So, with that, I would say mom is fully on, even with smacking her. Because, little miss sheltered adult needs to follow the fucking rules. Because one, you're being held hostage. Two, you're still trying to not get caught for your murder enterprise. You know what I mean?
Well, okay. Those are not mom's reasons for doing this, though, is what I would argue.
Well,
I would argue that her reasons come from a different place.
Well, that different place, regardless, I think fits the current situation. I don't want you flirting with men. They're terrible. Okay, you know what? That's a conversation to have after you're done murdering all these people, however many you're going to murder, and after you get rid of the fucking criminals with weapons who are holding you hostage, threatening to kill you at every turn. You see what I mean? Sometimes it's like, shoes a little tight. We'll just wear the fucker and deal with it at the end of the day. Kind of thing. I think Esther should not have been surprised. I didn't feel compassion for her. I was like, well, mom's a little creepy, but I can't fault for these circumstances that reaction to coming down and seeing your daughter having dinner, not just sitting at the table while you're being forced to cook for and feed somebody. Sitting at the table, eating with your captor, giggling and laughing and flirt. The kid's a little fucked up. And, well, so is mom, but I just think mom had the right direction in this one.
Well, I don't think mom is concerned about getting caught in the criminal enterprise, and I also don't think mom is all that concerned about being held hostage by these two idiots who are in their house. I think that mom is literally just doing this because of her own personal, weirdly held beliefs.
Okay.
And those other things have nothing to do with it.
I disagree. I think it's all of those things.
Oh, well.
Anyway. Smack.
And then it's later, like days or sometime later.
No, I think it's the next morning.
Well, Ignacio is better now. He's able to get around. They're all sitting down to dinner. And then we learn that Dirk has made a cane for Ignacio, which is nice, I guess. One could almost be fooled into thinking this is a normal situation. Their weird little dinner together. And then later we see Esther putting on makeup. And she's got this secret shed in the basement.
Well, the whole basement's like her secret shed.
Well, it's not the whole thing. It's a little bit of it that seems to be like a storage and also Esther's secret place.
Yeah, mom doesn't go down there much, though.
No. But anyway. And then Paco comes in and compliments her. And we learned that she wears a binder under her shirt.
Mm-hmm.
Not like a proper binder, but just some ace bandages.
Wrapped around. Backwoods style.
Yeah.
Like they used to in the old days.
And he cuts it off. And then the kids start to get intimate.
Yeah.
As kids do, I guess.
But they're not kids.
They're young. I guess, yeah, they're not children.
Right.
They're young adults.
Right.
Yeah.
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 I'll come back to that later. So, well, anyway, when they walk out, mom notices.
Yes.
That something has gone on. Because she's no fool. So Ignacio, who is wounded guy, tells Idiot they need to take Mom or Esther to the meet. Idiot says they'll look like fools showing up with a woman. So Wounded Guy says they'll take Dirk instead. I got where Idiot was coming from.
Well, he just doesn't want to bring one. He
Well,
doesn't want to bring Esther.
He doesn't want to bring Esther.
Yeah.
But more importantly, he's right on the nose. If we fucking show up to this thing with a woman just tagging along, we're going to look like fools. We're not going to look badass.
Sure.
So, bring Dirk, who, talk about a wild card. You just don't know what this fucking guy's going to do. I mean, he could stand up and piss himself at any point. You just never know. So later, Idiot pulls Esther into Mom's room. And then he starts nosing around because he's got the gun. Then he starts messing with Esther's mind, trying to convince her to leave. And the guy is that's why he's an idiot. None of his shit made any sense. Anyone with 2 functioning brain cells would be able to sniff out his just diatribe of bullshit,
What? That is not how I saw it at all.
Oh, that's how I saw it. He's like, you can do this, you got to leave, and this and that and that and that. And he has, coming from him, I mean, right off, I pegged him as just a fucking loser. He's not a tough guy. He's a little wuss. He's not in this accidentally. He made his choice. He's clearly trying to puff up, to be something that he, even though later he's like, this isn't what I wanted. I kind of think it is because there's 1,000 choices to make to get to this point. You don't just accidentally roll into top level crime, right? I don't know. He's just a dick.
Well, yeah, he's telling her about how her mom's been manipulating her and, all this other stuff.
But
it's true.
Well, no, he's 100% wrong in every one of his examples and theories. His entire approach is 100% wrong. Now, the fact that Mom has some mental issues and is taking him out on her kid and has this weird way of raising them, you can't give him credit, right? That's like dropping 10,000 balls onto a baseball field, running around with the bat in the air, and then if it connects with even one of those balls, saying, I hit a ball in a major baseball game.
We have very different views of what went on in this movie.
Oh, maybe. He's just a shit peddler. Anyway, nosing around, messing with her mind, and then he tries to convince her that Mom's hiding something from her.
Well, they encounter a locked closet in Mom's room.
Right. Well, and here's the thing. His like, because he says, people with locked closets are people who have something to hide. And I thought, okay, I don't know what to do here. Do I say this was a moment of really bad writing because the dialogue was just awful? Or is this in character for him because he's just a fucking idiot? And that was his attempt at being like, Obi-Wan Kenobi of the backwoods border crime family. I don't know. But it just hit me in the head as like another just flinging more bullshit, trying to posture himself. That's how I took it.
I'm not with you.
Oh, that's okay. That's fine. So anyway, later, Mom tells Esther to make sure there are enough pills for both of the guys. And then Esther tries to argue. Now, this is interesting because neither one of us mentioned it. Earlier, Esther, when they were talking about killing, Esther's like, why don't we just do what we always do? And Mom's like, no, there's 2 of them. What if it doesn't happen at the same time? What if this and that?
This was very early on.
Yeah, very early on when she was like, we have to kill them all and figure out how. And Esther's like, well, let's just do what we always do. And Mom's like, no, because if one passes out before the other's going to go ape shit. And then that's a big problem. They're 2 different guys, 2 different weights. They're not pharmacy folk.
Right.
They don't know. They're just like ground a bunch of shit up, put it in there, and something will happen.
Right.
Right. But now Mom's like, get the pills. Let's just make sure we got enough pills.
When they come back from their deal.
Yeah. And Esther tries to argue for other reasons than previous conversation. Mom tells Esther to stay focused, and she reminds her that she's the one who wants to get out of there.
I'm doing this for you.
And she's doing it all for Esther.
It's
So
so
they can
fucking narcissistic,
so they can get out of there.
Manipulative and shady.
Well, that right there, for a fact, that's not what's going on.
No.
Right? And I don't want to say it's tropish, but it kind of is in that kind of character. I can't think of a single film where those words have been uttered and it was absolutely completely ulterior motive for what's going on.
Right.
Right. It's casting dispersion and blame for the situation onto the person. Well, you're the one who wants to get out of here. I'm doing this all for you.
Oh, well, it's classic gaslighting.
Yeah.
But I'm doing this for you. Like, if anyone ever says that to you, walk away.
Yeah. Well, doing bad shit. Let's just say that. I mean, if you're with somebody and you're like, you get up, you go to work, you come home, you eat, and you go to work, you come home, you go to bed, and they say, well, I'm doing this for you because, you want a house, or, we want this thing, or you want this. Well, that's not a bad thing. But if they're piling up bodies in the basement as they're robbing them and they're saying, I'm doing this for you, don't let them sell it to you. Run away. The difference between sacrifice and just doing heinous shit.
Yeah.
I guess, to be fair. So after that whole mind scramble, we're at the meet. And I guess I call it the equivalent of like backwoods Texas hillbilly. It's like a junkyard, but it's not a junkyard.
I guess.
It's one of those places where someone has just a lot of old car mechanical shit laying all over their property. And I've seen these, and I don't get it. It's just weird. It happens all over. I just still don't get it. Anyway, so this is where the meat is. And there's two guys in as Texas as you can get cowboy hats.
Oh, yeah.
Right? I mean, these hats were not costume hats. These were, because you can tell the difference. When you've seen a real fucking cowboy hat, that's a real cowboy hat. Yeah. It's not something you buy at the Five and Dime. That thing was steamed, pressed, and fitted to that head. Oh, yeah. But they still look like douches. Because at one point, the customers, the cowboy hat dudes, pull a gun. Dirk is just there watching. A little bit of talk and this and that. Anyway, the whole thing goes through. When they get back, Esther tells Idiot that they, meaning all of them except Mom, need to get away as soon as possible, but not why.
Right.
Turns out Idiot is only offering Esther a ride somewhere, not to be together.
Right.
Right. And then we get the whole spiel. I didn't choose this life. You can choose this and that. I don't know. I didn't buy his spiel. Dirk just heads out into the fucking woods.
Yeah, he just goes for a stroll.
Wounded guy notices him, right? Then Dirk comes to a lockbox like under a tree in this little area far from the house. It's full of trinkets.
Yeah, his treasures.
One of which is the gold necklace.
Mm-hmm.
And as he's sitting and looking at the stuff, Wounded guy shows up. And Dirk is more than happy to show him his shit. So Wounded guy ends up snatching a gold watch and very angrily asks Dirk where he got it. And then he unceremoniously clubs Dirk with his cane.
Yes.
Yes.
So meanwhile, Mom is confronting Esther in Esther's little secret shed. saying, I know what you did with Paco and, all this other stuff, and I don't trust you to help me take care of them tonight.
Right.
So she locks Esther in the shed. Like straight up Cinderella style.
Yeah. Yeah.
Locks her in. What? Then she goes up and Ignacio, wounded guy, pulls Mom into his room and starts grilling her about the watch. And she's like, I don't know where Dirk gets his stuff. What? It belonged to a family member of his. It was his cousin or something.
Yep, it was his cousin.
So while this is going on.
Well, because it has an inscription.
Right.
Yeah. And the last names are the same.
Yeah. So while this is going on, Paco has heard Esther banging on her door. And so he's breaking her out. And she's saying they need to leave. But Paco is just like, I don't know why. So he doesn't understand. And she won't tell him because, my mom's going to try and kill you.
Yeah.
Which you'd think at this point, maybe that would be on the table. But so anyway, she is trying to say this to Paco. And then we see Mom and Ignacio now wrestling, right? They're fighting.
Yeah.
And Dirk comes in and joins the fracas.
Yeah.
And then Mom ends up stabbing Ignacio in the neck with a cross that she grabs off the wall.
Yeah. That's brutal.
It was pretty wild. Pretty hardcore. And then we're with Esther and Paco, and this is when Esther is finally like, this is what my mom does.
Mm-hmm.
And she kind of explains the situation. And Paco is appalled.
Right.
And Esther tries to explain it away, and Paco's like, it's not okay to kill people. I don't know what you're not getting about this. And Esther's like, but you kill people. And he was like, no, that guy was the first guy I ever killed. And I feel sick about it.
Yeah.
It's not okay to kill people. So he runs up to the door to confront Mom, I guess. But she opens the door and just shoots him 3 times in the chest.
With wounded guy's gun.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, as he gets there, Mom opens the door and then shoots him.
Yep.
So next thing you know, bodies are going into the lake.
Yep.
Esther is crying while it happens. All her dreams of getting away, because she doesn't want to live in this shitty little house,
Mm-hmm.
in the middle of nowhere with nothing to do with just her mom and not experiencing anything. She's got dreams.
Yeah.
Dirk drives off in the truck back to that field.
Yeah, disposes of it.
Mom makes 2 more hash marks in her wall, and she is very pleased with herself.
Oh, yeah.
In this moment.
She's laughing.
Oh, yeah. So in the morning, Esther has made breakfast. And as she, is kind of setting it out, she asks Mom, are you happy? And Mom gives a kind of a non-committal answer. And Esther's like, well, if you're not, let's just go.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just leave now.
Yeah.
We don't have to stay here. And then Mom starts talking about how they don't have enough money. Well, the 1 bag of money that we saw them get in the beginning of this movie is plenty.
Right. But also Esther says, well, I can get a job.
Right. Yeah. And Mom just keeps no. And then finally, she tries to do away with all of Esther's, you're going to have a hard time. Do you know how hard it is to get a job? Do you know how much money you need to start over?
Right.
You don't know anything, basically. And then finally, Esther is not buying any of this. And mom says, well, we're doing a good thing here. We're killing bad people. We're saving innocent lives. And Esther, like, is bringing her food and coffee and stuff. And I love this line. I want the best for you. I do this for you. This is a common refrain from mom.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So this whole time mom has been talking, Esther's been playing with her food, pushing it around her plate, but not eating. And mom has been looking increasingly sleepy.
Mm-hmm.
And when she passes out, Esther starts crying. In mom's room, Esther's looking for all the money that mom has taken from all the coyotes they've killed.
Right.
She finds a little bit under the bed, but it's like $100, maybe a couple hundred. It's not much.
Yeah, it was. I thought it was just like a couple dozen 20s.
Yeah, if that.
Yeah, hardly. I mean, this is like they were rolling bums on Skid Row,
right?
Kind of money. Not that. When we say money in plastic bags, the first guy's money was vacuum sealed,
right?
In plastic, right? So
yeah,
yeah, and they were chunky piles,
right? They had bank wraps on them,
yeah,
right? That's how much money,
yep,
right? So she breaks into the closet and she finds the money in several shoe boxes. There is so much money in this closet. There is.
Yeah. Well, first thing we see is her prayer table.
Yeah.
With all the candles and stuff. And we talked about this. Up until this point, we had no idea this was like in her closet. This was taking place. It was very good direction, cinematography. I don't know if the DP thought about it, but the way it was angled and shot, you just assumed it was a corner in her bedroom.
Right.
Or another room. Because when you said like crappy little house, a little bit ago, I thought, actually, I'd live there. That's actually a nice little place. It's just in, fucking nowhere.
Well, it's in a swamp, which is probably why it has an above ground basement.
That's true. But there are several rooms. There's 2 levels to this thing above it. And it's just like rooms.
Right. But it isn't like, it's not luxe, right?
Oh, no. But give me a day in there. I'd have it whipped into shape. So but anyway, yeah. It was cool that we're like, oh shit, it's in the closet.
Yeah.
Wild.
She's hiding her prayer table. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah. So she opens a shoebox, it's full of money. Opens another shoebox, it's full of money. Opens another it's wild. She then finds 53 hash marks in the wall.
Yes.
Where mom has been keeping tally for who knows how long. Right?
Right.
So we don't know how long it has been.
Yeah, we didn't get a time when her father was killed.
No. And then we see Esther in a pretty blue dress. She's wrapping mom up in a tarp.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the first time we've seen her in a dress this whole movie. She's always wearing like a sweater and pants and,
Right. Yeah. She puts on a really nice, pretty little dress.
And her hair is done. Then she's in the boat and she does contemplate a little while before cutting mom loose.
Yep. And
this is where we see the many bodies at the bottom of the lake.
Yeah.
And some are skeletal.
Yeah, because the bags have been picked at by fish and stuff. And there's, they've been there for a long time.
And then Stella just lays down in the boat. And that's
it. But I mean, it's worth saying when we're talking about boxes and boxes of money, conservatively, we figured between $300 and $400,000
right
in cash. Because this wasn't loose bills. These were all packed.
Yeah.
They were crime bundles.
Yes.
Is what they were. Right. And there was tons of those bundles. So, yeah.
There were at least like 3 or 4 shoe boxes full.
Yeah. Oh, 3 or 4.
I'm saying at
Oh,
least.
at least. Oh, yeah, because they did like kind of a quick cut scene. You could see him piling up. There was almost a dozen behind her. But anyway, yeah, mom clearly had no intention
Of ever leaving.
ever leaving, and Esther's instincts were right
Mm-hmm.
at the end. To got to get rid of her, because it's one thing, like I said, to be a super Puritan, weird kind of like Norman Bates's mother,
Mm-hmm.
and shitting on your kid so you can sit and just kill people with all that fucking money, and then lie to your kid, we're broke, we're stone ass broke.
Right.
A little bit of Joe Exotic. We can't go out of here, we're flat ass broke.
Right.
So that was Coyote Lake. Now let's talk about this movie.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to begin by talking about what I did not like.
Okay.
It's a pretty short list.
Sure.
The only thing I really didn't like, and this is not a criticism, it's just one of those things. I didn't like not knowing which way to go on the fence about bad writing, or is it just great writing for this idiot character
Sure.
kind of thing. Like I said, this pseudo Obi-Wan Kenobi Yoda wise stuff, because this guy's so full of shit. Everything he said to me was suspect, that's really it. I still labor over it. And until if we could get our hands on the script, then we would know,
Yeah.
Has nothing to do with the performance by the actor. None of that. It's like, was it just one of those little things that didn't quite hit the peak, or was this the peak? This is what it's supposed to be, kind of thing. That was the only thing that bugged me, was there were like 5 or 6 lines of his that I just, plus I hated the fucking guy as a character. That's it. Everything else I loved.
Well, yeah. I mean, so let's talk, technical for a minute.
Yep.
Right?
That's one of the important parts.
This was, expertly framed. The cinematography was wonderful. The performances were good. There were a lot of very smart indie movie decisions made for this film. Limited locations, a small cast.
On the location bit.
Yeah.
The worst choice you can make as an indie filmmaker with no budget is shooting outside.
Yeah.
Because you have no fucking control over anything, right? And we've all seen the behind the scenes of the major motion pictures, right?
Mm-hmm.
They have screens and filters and things and this and that. They can manipulate the lighting. They can block it, and they create their own light.
Right.
It's funny. Like when we saw the behind the scenes of Doctor Who, the episode where they were in the by Hoover Dam.
Sure.
Right, by Powell Lake, or Lake Powell rather. Oh, God, get it right. Who in the middle of broad daylight in a desert has lights?
I know.
Well, let me tell you, major motion pictures, because that's how you get it. Limited locations. Almost everything was outside.
Yes.
Day and night. You said, good decisions. They made some just crackerjack decisions on equipment.
Yeah.
Because none of this, there was no burnout. We've seen a lot of these where they're shooting outside, and you can tell they're like, okay, we got to shoot this between noon and 2. So we have the most light possible, but we have no way to filter it.
Right.
So we get the burnout, on the film and everything. Everything looked good.
Oh, yeah.
It was perfect in the trees, in the sun, in the house, day, night, in the town.
It was also really tight as
Yeah.
well. There wasn't anything wasted
Right.
on screen.
It was a rare instance of everything that was on the screen was there for a reason.
Yes.
We didn't have a lot of like driving montage,
Right.
right? Where it's just shots of the farm and shots of this and, you know, a bunch of B-roll stuff.
Yeah.
They kept it nice and clean.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we got the car coming, we got the car going, we got the car pulling up, we got the car leaving. Don't need anything more than that.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and then the sound design was also really well done.
Mm-hmm.
I think that about covers the technical stuff.
Yeah, lighting, sound, camera work was fantastic. Some of I mean, there were some like establishing shots, which
Yeah.
I don't count as like travel montage shit.
Right.
These establishing shots were beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, this movie is a treat visually.
It is. And watching it from the beginning, it reminded me of David Ryan Keith. We talk about him. He's just, you know, it doesn't matter what happens during the shoot.
Mm-hmm.
He knows what belongs where when he starts
Yeah.
putting it together. And this was just as tight as that.
Yes.
So very smooth visually with no sound.
Yeah. I mean, tonally, it's very soft. It's very easy on the eyes.
Yes. Even like the one gore scene with the bullet coming, you know,
right
out of the leg.
Well, there's the other one with the cross getting stuck in the guy's neck.
Oh yeah. I mean, that's just blood. I don't count blood as gore.
Sure.
But you know, they were kind of like up in there, and she's like with the giant tweezers. Even that wasn't like I call it shock shot. Right? There's our gore movies that we love so much are full of shock shots, where it's not just you see what's going on, but they focus intensely on that gore. You know, the eyeball falling out or whatever goofy shit we're watching that we're getting into. It worked, and it didn't elevate in a bad way.
Right.
Like it didn't like boom, oh shit, and then back to nice smooth visuals, right? It was done very well. So yeah, I think all the technical stuff, top to bottom, she did a fantastic job.
Yeah.
Rolling this out. I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
I felt bad that it took us so long, but it's kind of nice that it did because now it fits into this theme.
Right.
Right. So, you know, everything for a purpose.
Right.
Yeah.
There's a reason.
Yeah.
What I really like about this film is that there are a lot of films about complex and abusive relationships.
Yes.
But this one in particular, I felt like did a really good job portraying that dynamic and not in the usual way, right? Usually in films about complex and abusive relationships, it's about romantic relationships. This is about familial relationships being complex and abusive.
Yes.
And I haven't seen enough of it. And to be frank, I feel like those are just as common, if not more common, than complex and abusive romantic relationships.
Oh, in the real world?
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
And I think it's something like, it's very much relatable, right?
Yeah.
I mean, like this mom is nothing like my mom, but you know what I mean? It is, I mean, it is a dynamic that if you have ever been in any kind of complex or abusive relationship, you immediately recognize what is going on.
Right.
Right. But at the same time, it isn't like, it doesn't feel pushy. Do you know what I mean?
I do. Well, let's talk about the mom.
Okay.
Because we have differing views on the mom. Now at the end, obviously it all came, you know, it's like, she is truly fucked in the head. And the level of what she's doing goes way beyond. Because I'll tell you right away at the beginning, I was hoping to see like way more of her killing coyotes before these guys showed up, because I got to tell you something. I will come out and say it. These fucking people who act as coyotes deserve to fucking die a slow and painful death. They are the worst maggoty motherfuckers on the planet, or among the worst for what they do. They emotionally rape everyone they deal with. They take their fucking life savings, they make them promises, and they treat them worse than, stock cattle, and literally leave them to their death.
Yeah.
And watching this, things, especially living in Arizona, you hear stuff that doesn't make national news. Like one thing that made the national news was the big semi trailer packed full of people who all died because someone just left it in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
Okay. That's coyote. That's the shit that they do. And, yeah, fuck these guys.
Yeah.
they, drug them and then drown them. Absolutely make them suffer. I don't think there's any karmic repercussions for that. So I was fully on board with Mom. Like if this is a full on vigilante vendetta thing, fuck yeah, go. I want to see more. But that wasn't why she was doing it. She liked it. That's what it came down to.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, and she was also lying to her kid about why she was doing it.
Oh, well, yeah. Well, I mean, that is part of the whole relationship thing that is way more fucked than, you initially get introduced to. But it unfolds throughout the whole thing that, Mom is a little bent. Mom is kind of bent. Mom is really bent. And Jesus Christ, she's bent, and bent,
Mm-hmm.
And then you don't feel bad for what happens to her. Because it's like you've taken something that put together with, you saw your husband get killed by the cartel. You know that these coyotes, they're not members of the cartel, but they are their own kind of cartel.
Mm-hmm.
Right. But I would not fucking compare them to any of the Mexican crime families. It's just, no.
These guys are small potatoes.
They are small potatoes. But for small potatoes, they do a lot of damage.
Yeah.
I'm on this podcast and everywhere else, I'm very public about how I feel about having illegal immigrants. I don't like that. Those are two words that shouldn't go together ever.
Right.
I think our border procedures are heinous and embarrassingly barbaric. These people just want to do, quite frankly, what most Americans are too fucking lazy to do these days.
Yeah.
Right? It should be a 15, 20-minute fucking process.
Right.
Okay. And if you have to do the long, like I've said, they should come over. We should give them their shit. Let them get jobs. Let them get places. We should have places for them to start out in.
They just want a chance at a better life, which is what we've founded this whole country on.
And every one of these successful migrant stories, and almost there's so many more percentage wise, per capita, than American success stories of the same kind. These people come with literally nothing, right? They're wearing the same fucking underwear they've been wearing for the last 6 months, traveling around, hiding, and these people will fucking work, and not stop until they're dead because they want their kids to have the American dream. And these are the people who start their own businesses and successfully run their businesses and overcome all the prejudice and shit in this country, So anyway, yeah, that's my soapbox. I was very angry watching this in the beginning, and I, almost like comically entertained when she was killing these fucking guys.
I mean, that is.
I'm like, it's the least they deserve.
I mean, it is a thing that kind of adds another layer to that, that complex relationship.
Yes.
Right? Because, I mean, putting aside, I don't think, right? I agree with you. I think coyotes, should have the worst of whatever happened to them. Like as a personal kind of thing. I don't know that it is my job to be judge, jury, and executioner, right?
Mm-hmm.
For anyone really, unless it has a very personal connotation to me.
Well, right.
You know,
Well, and that's the difference. To me, it is personal.
I get it.
We have family who could have fallen into that.
Yeah.
Right. Living down there in it, ministering to these people, and just here, I was involved. And so to me, that's why, I have no problem. I don't think my heart's going to be judged ill, or we need to scrape the shit off the boot of this world, and they are it.
Well, that's the
You know.
thing. I mean, getting a little bit philosophical about it, right? The idea behind living in a civilized society, right, is that there are rules that you have to follow to live in the society, to make the society work. But here's the thing, the way our society is structured and the way our government is structured doesn't work. And we've seen that quite
Well, that's
clearly.
just it. We all know what the basic rules are, but they're impossible to follow. And well, we're watching a show right now that kind of thing came up,
Mm-hmm.
right? In this show, I'm not going to name it till we are sure we like it or not. But this guy's preaching, righteous living,
Right.
which is right up my alley. I know all about the whole claim to righteousness and stuff, and they're using God and everything in the movie, in the show. It it makes a point of saying the rules that we have are not satisfactory. They don't actually
They're not
meet
working.
up to
Right.
the rules that there should be. Now, he's a whack job and quickly goes off dock, right? That ship just runs out untethered. But I think too, sometimes truth is ugly and barbaric, and no matter what you want to do in terms of being civilized and in terms of being righteous and pious and proper and all that stuff, sometimes the truth is the truth, and it completely contradicts those.
That's what I love about this movie, is that it sparks these kinds of discussions.
Mm-hmm.
Right. These are the kinds of conversations I love having.
Oh, exactly.
And I think that's the hallmark of an excellent movie.
It is. Like I said, this movie made me think a lot of things. Now, we had different interpretations of things going on in different scenes and stuff, but thematically, the bigger picture, we also came at it from very different perspectives. I have personal experience with this stuff. It's easier to rub me the wrong way in these kinds of situations in films than it is you.
Mm-hmm.
You look at it as that's nasty, that shouldn't happen. I look at it from like having seen, and I mean, I can only pretend to know how it feels,
Right.
because I haven't tried to sneak across a border and then been treated like hell and left for dead. But I've worked with a lot of people who have, and I've gone to efforts to try and minimize that after the fact.
Right.
I mean, I wasn't about to go into Mexico and take up an armed war against these assholes, but leaving 500-gallon water tanks, unknown paths, at least they won't die out here.
Right.
At least they can get somewhere. I'd rather them live long enough to get caught and sent back over the border than to die because there's nowhere to go and no
Right.
water, nothing. I'd rather they not get caught or sent over the border. I just want to make that clear.
Right.
It sounded in my head.
But the idea is to help them live.
Right. Is to, well, they made it this far, but I'm going to do what I can to make sure they can get out of this shit pit, and then go through the rest of the struggles that they're going to have to face.
Well,
but at least be alive to do it.
And that was the clincher for me in the beginning of this movie, with the mother, which was when when the refugees come up to the house
Right.
asking for help, and the mom refuses to give them any kind of help. She won't even give them food or water, or anything,
So here's the funny thing.
even though she just killed the coyote that brought them there.
Right. Um, I can understand, like I said, when you have like a murder enterprise going, you just don't fucking want people in your house. They weren't renting out rooms to anybody who was going to live.
Right.
That was her whole thing. But in every shot of the outside of that house, there is a nice little guest house. And I don't know if that's where Dirk lives,
I
but
don't
you know
know.
what? It's up there. And I
Well,
thought, well, even if it was Dirk, kick his ass out. They could stay up there for the night, at least that much. But she was stone cold bitchy about it.
well, she didn't even have to take them in. She could have just given them some supplies. And one of the things that she said to Esther was they don't have enough money to make it worth it to help them.
Right? Which call into question, correct me if I'm wrong, but we don't actually get the history of Mom, Esther, and Dad.
Right.
We know that he was killed by the cartel. Don't know what he was doing,
No.
right? Um, was Esther born across on this side of the border? Did they sneak over with her? Were they part of this? Was Dad involved?
Yeah, we don't know.
There's a whole lot there that isn't it. And I've wondered, and that's why I'm asking, did I miss it? It didn't seem, I don't think I did, but it didn't seem like we got a whole lot of what's Esther's story,
Right.
right? So I was trying to figure out, so mom and dad citizens here had Esther, and then because they're so close to the border, you can't help but be, within fingers reach of the cartel. And that led to a problem. Did they come over like that? I just don't know what the deal was.
Right.
But her view on all this was highly suspect in that scene.
Yeah.
Like I said, there's a half a dozen other ways it could have gone, other than just blatantly throwing them out into the wild.
Right.
You know,
But she has no empathy or sympathy for, the people that she claims she's trying to help.
or avenge, or whatever her
Right.
true motivation for killing the coyotes
Yeah.
is. And I kind of feel like after, mulling it over, I kind of feel like she wasn't even worried about killing the coyotes. I think they were just the most convenient because they were very secretive. Not too many people knew where they were going because that's how they like to operate. And I think she liked killing. And I think they were the most convenient in the area, to draw in because they're just going to want to stop anywhere. And the further out and the more secluded, the better.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because they do want to be secretive.
Right.
I don't know. I mean, it's a lot of, I could be wrong. I mean, you could challenge that easily and I couldn't argue it, a different perspective. But,
Right.
um, yeah, mom is a fucking mess.
But either way, that was the moment in which I was like, well, if she actually did care about these people and that's why she's killing the coyotes,
Right.
then she'd have done something for, this group of actual, people who need help who come to her door. But she doesn't.
Well, it's actually laying the carpet on the floor.
Yeah.
Right. You can talk about how it's going to look and what you're doing and how you're making it. But until you put it on the floor, it's all just talk. And when that moment came, she just pissed it away.
She did.
So I did at the beginning question what, like I said, I understood the murder enterprise thing, but that she didn't even give him the food.
Right.
Esther had to sneak off and do it, and it wasn't much.
No, it was, like a bucket of apples.
Yeah. Just a little something.
Well, and then when Esther comes back, Esther's terrified. and you could see it. And I mean, great performances by Camila Mendes and Adriana Barraza,
Oh, yeah.
right? But Esther's terrified that her mom's gonna do what? Because she brought these people some apples,
Mm-hmm.
and the mom's like, I'm not mad, right?
They're
And
just not worth it.
it was that little interaction where I was like, this is a not right relationship. Let's talk about the end a little bit.
Okay.
Because you and I both, I think, agreed that Esther, when she drugged her mother, maybe didn't intend to kill her right away.
I don't think she did.
I think her intention was to find the money and leave.
Well, was to do, some secret shopping around the house.
Right.
to get into that closet, to really look around and just leave before mom
Right.
woke up.
Right. But then she found the hash marks, the
Right.
tally.
Right. Which led me to further believe this has been going on before.
Right.
Right. And then I started to wonder, not to go too far off this, but I started to wonder, was dad in on it? And then something went bad. Someone woke up, killed dad. And we just don't know. There's a lot of hash marks, and she was genuinely like, fuck me.
Right. She was surprised. Right?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think I'm not as concerned with the timeline, I guess. Just because, it's one of those things where like I don't feel like I need to know all of that.
Oh, I don't need to know. These are just questions. And this is something I credit this story with, the way it was written. I like having these questions. I don't need to know the answer, but I like being able to come up with like 5 plausible different directions that this came from or was going at some point outside of what we saw,
Yeah.
I mean, because it makes for a good conversation.
Yeah.
I could think one thing, you could think another. We could discuss it and be like, oh, yeah, that could work too. It could have gone this way and then that way.
Right.
Yeah. See, this is, to me, what lack of backstory does. Makes you think after the fact.
Yeah.
Right? I like it.
I like it. I like this movie just generally. I think that it was extraordinarily well done. Just all around. I don't know. I would highly recommend it, definitely as a masterclass in indie filmmaking.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
For those kind of smart decisions. Yep. Right.
Everything is there. The characters, even though we disagree on our outlook of some of them, like Idiot to me, was there wasn't anything about him I latched onto. I was just like, the sooner you're dead, the better.
I don't know. I feel like he was a young person who got in over his head, earlier than he anticipated and realized very quickly there's nothing that he could do about it, or not a lot that he could do about it, and accepted his lot in life, as it were. Because I mean, if you think about like, it happens in the cartels, it happens in Africa all the time, where kids get recruited into this kind of thing.
Oh, right.
And then they're just stuck in it, even if they know inherently what I'm doing is wrong.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, I guess I don't care. I just didn't care for him at all. It was to the point where he's talking all this, like I said, pseudo wisdom shit, and everything he's talking about. Like, dude, you have the fucking opportunity right there. Gimpy upstairs about bled to death. You could have just let him die.
And then you could just disappear.
Yeah, and you just fucking go.
Yeah.
Right? You got a bag full of fucking guns or whatever, or some shit. Whatever the meat was truly about, because they were really ambiguous. And then at the end, he's like, something about the guns and want more. There's more and whatever. just
Like
seemed
they were
weird.
supplying guns to the cartel or something. But anyway,
Anyway, he had as many. Well, he had way more opportunities than Esther did to end his situation.
because
But yeah. Anyway.
apparently people disappear around this lake all the time.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, this movie made me think a lot about stuff. You know, it's a wonderful story. Also, uh, I mean, we're going kind of like over a little bit, but this movie came out in 2019,
Mm-hmm.
which, as I'm thinking about the climate in 2019 politically,
mm-hmm.
um, this movie was released at the same time when our president. There's heavy sarcasm on that word.
I refer to that period as the 4 years America found out what it was like to not have a president in office.
Sure, I get that. Was saying awful, awful, racist things
Yeah.
about immigrants and Mexicans, and oh boy, there were a lot of people agreeing with him,
Mm-hmm.
which is wild to me.
Mm-hmm. I liked that they kept the story in the Hispanic circle.
Yeah.
The only two white guys in this, well, Dirk, but he's a simpleton. The only two white guys were coyotes. And I think that was intentional, obviously. And I think it was effective to me. Where's the real problem?
Yeah.
And I know there's a lot of good people living in Texas. That's why we won't move to Texas, because there's a lot of good people, but there's way more not good people. I don't mean they're all criminals, but they share that same view.
Well,
that came from the White House.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, this story is so well done, but I also think that it took some like pretty big balls to release the movie where the main two characters are Latinas and they're murdering people left and right
Mm-hmm.
in 2019.
Yeah.
When we had a racist Cheeto leading the country.
I agree. It's bold. And there's a story element to this where you could probably compare it to other movies, but in and of itself, in its entirety, I haven't seen anything like this.
No.
The story, the way it started, the way it went, and the way it ended. It's its own little nugget. Right? Yeah. And I like that. And I think it was brave. I think it spoke a lot. I think it also spoke to how many culturally disassociated Hispanic youth there are, with Esther not being able to speak English.
Spanish.
Or, oh, Jesus Christ. not being able to speak Spanish, but her parents both spoke it.
Right. Yeah, well,
So
I think her mother intentionally didn't teach her Spanish. But
well, yeah, because she certainly could have. It's not like she was giving her lessons. Right?
Right.
And I think because most of where they were Hispanic young boys.
Right.
And we saw the one at the pharmacy when we learned she didn't speak Spanish. He basically called her an ignorant bitch.
Yeah.
Right? And I think that's what Mom wanted.
Yeah. I think that's absolutely what she wanted, was to isolate her daughter more.
Yeah. But anyway, I think it put that out there because I think that is a problem. That there are a lot of Hispanic children who are not going to be carrying on their language or their heritage because of the climate in this country. And I think that's a crime in itself.
Yeah.
We could be just making shit up on our interpretation, and this was never Sara Seligman's view, or maybe it was. I don't know. I like talking about it. Yeah. And I like being able to feel like feel like I got pretty solid ground on this one. It was a ball buster,
Yeah.
but not in your face kind of thing.
Yeah.
Right.
I love this movie. I think it's great.
Folks, you need to see it. You need to observe, think about what we've talked about, come up with your own stuff, look for your own things. This is a way to write a well-crafted script where there's just enough to get you through the movie. Doesn't seem like anything's absent, and the bigger pieces that are missing don't slow the story down, but make the audience walk away with the questions like we talked about.
Mm-hmm.
There are things we don't know, but it's cool to, hypothesize.
Sure.
What this, that, and the other. That's part of the fun, of film sometimes.
Well, yeah. And also gets you talking about like moral quandaries,
Mm-hmm.
And philosophical issues and political issues. And,
right.
It gets you having real good conversations.
Oh, yeah. By not just how murky somebody's moral pool can be.
Yeah.
Mine's pretty fucking murky. I'm not going to lie. I've seen, listened to, grew up with, preached, and recanted enough stuff in my life to know that it's not black and it's not crystal clear. To me, it's always got to be murky.
I feel like mine's pretty murky, but it does vacillate all over the place.
Well, I mean, it depends on situations too, just because that's why people are like, well, what are your morals? Depends on the day.
I'm definitely a gray area sort of person. I like living in that gray area.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's a company I work for now says embrace the gray because you got to be able to shift. But, it depends on your involvement, like you said.
Yeah.
Way in the beginning. You took it differently because you didn't have a personal attachment to it. I created one because the whole concept is very prickly for me.
I get that.
But I mean, that's the thing with, moral ambiguity is it really depends. St. Columba, for those of you who are wondering why would anyone question the whole idea of righteousness? St. Columba said famously, it is possible for one to be too righteous.
Yeah.
Right?
That's true.
And for those of you Christians and Catholics, St. Columba was a raging alcoholic with a legendary temper. He cursed entire villages just on a whim. So there you go.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. So wrapping it up, Coyote Lake is fantastic. Thomas James Bond, Sara Seligman created something great. Sara directed the shit out of this.
Yeah.
Didn't find anything loose, distracting. There were no plot surprises. Where did he come from? How long has he been there?
Yeah. Wonderful performances.
Oh, the actors, top to bottom. Like even Ignacio, who's very little in it, right? Because Pedro's the one, or Paco. Yeah, Paco's the one. I should get that right.
Yeah, Paco.
Okay, I just so used to call him idiot. He's the one we primarily see,
right,
of the duo, right? Ignacio's in there with his wounded leg. 3/4 of the film, he's recouping, right? Yeah, they all did fantastic.
They did.
It's just great. Even I love the pharmacist.
Oh yeah, she's lovely.
She was so much fun. Yeah. She's so sweet, but also not gullible. Right. You could tell, I'm buying your story, but mind you, I'm paying with Monopoly money.
Right.
So as long as we understand each other, we'll move forward.
Yeah. Well, I think with that, you should check out our website.
www.lordsofmisruleproductions.com.
It's all there, baby.
It is. It's all there. And you know what to do. You know what to do when you go to a website. Click on shit.
Yeah, explore.
Yeah.
There's a lot of cool stuff there.
I don't think we need to spoon feed you on
Don't
this.
let us tell you what's there. Figure it out.
See for yourself.
Yeah.
Revel, enjoy, envelop, cherish.
Yeah.
And then when you're done with that, check out our social media. Links are also on the website. Just because we want you to see who we're following and who's following us and give these people a look.
Yeah, we're at Bravo Side on Twitter and Bravo for the B-Side on Facebook.
And Instagram.
And Instagram.
But these are our creatives. These are your tribe. These are directors, producers, writers, filmmakers, actors, everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody.
And they're so cool.
And one author.
Yep.
Alistair.
Oh, yeah. Alistair.
Well, he gets a movie. He has an acting credit because he is in the audience in Redwood Massacre Annihilation.
Right.
At the fan club. But yeah, he novelized a movie. So there you go.
Oh, you know what? We got a recommendation from our buddy, Paul
Flannery.
Paul Flannery. I wanted to say Flannery, but I was like, am I going to fuck that up? Paul Flannery to watch this little BBC. No, it wasn't even BBC. It was something. Little British show.
Yeah. It was Channel 4.
Yeah. I think so.
Yeah, because they did the old 80s
Yeah.
logo of it that looks heinous.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's called Garth Marenghi's Dark Place. Oh my God. We got a lot of laughs out of that.
I think that's in the interview with David and Paul.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he recommended it to us and we finally got around to watching it. And I'm sorry we didn't watch it sooner because it's hilarious.
Oh my God. I love it.
It's a riot.
So it's written and directed by none other than Moss from the IT crowd. Richard Ayoade. Ayoade.
Yeah.
I've heard it pronounced several different ways.
He says Ayoade.
Matthew Berry is in it and also.
Yeah.
Yeah, give it a look. That is on.
I believe we found it on Amazon Prime.
Look it up, folks.
Yeah. Garth Marenghi. Anyway.
Yeah, it's a wonderful mock 80s show.
Kind of reminiscent of like the Twilight Zone.
Kind of. And Night Gallery, just this weird shit. Outer Limits.
Yeah.
It's hard to explain. So anyway, yeah. I didn't think it would not be good because it came from Paul.
Right.
But it was even better than I thought.
Yes.
We just loved it. So yeah, check that bad boy out. I don't think we've rolled into anything else worth mentioning. We're watching a show now, decision yet to be made.
Right.
And really for movies, I mean, this was it.
Right.
I have no time for any other stuff right now.
Yeah.
All right.
Well,
B-siders.
Until next time.
This is Jim.
And this is Danny.
Keep doing what you're doing, and we will talk at you soon.
We love you.
Yes, we do.
Bye.